Talk about liberties. It used to be, until just recently, that you could do whatever you wanted unless the law prohibited it. Now, it seems, you can't do anything unless the law says you can do it. Christine Van Geyn is a litigation coordinator with the Canadian Constitution Foundation. She joins me right now because she has a view on it. It seems like everything's turned around. What does that do to liberty?
Well, you know, when everything's illegal, everyone's a criminal. So,
I think they probably are the case right now.
Yeah, so the Ontario government has issued a stay-at-home order.
Right.
It's sort of a 24/7 curfew with 29 exemptions. So you can leave your house for an essential trip, an essential item, or an essential job. But the government doesn't define what those are. My concern is what happens when the police and an individual disagree.
Well, you don't want the government to go through the shopping list, though, and say, okay, here are 1,500 things that you could do. Oh, we forgot news. I mean, that's not going to work either. But then we have the situation where someone's dropping off kids to their grandmother, and they're given an $800 ticket because some cop has bad judgment. Most cops don't like this. I've spoken to some. They say, well, this isn't crazy.
Yeah, I think most police officers want to arrest bad guys, not grandmas talking on their driveway.
Yes.
But that's the problem when you make a blanket prohibition. It's sort of like, I forgot this, I forgot that, this would be reasonable. And when you have an ambiguous law like this with so much subjectivity, a lot of discretion is left in the hands of police who don't always exercise the perfect judgment.
So what should be the case instead of what we have now in Ontario and many other provinces?
Look, I'm not against health measures, but I think that health measures to address COVID need to make sense. The idea of imposing a blanket prohibition and then kind of trying to come up with the things that we allow, that approach just doesn't work.
So even public health officials now, most of them, except for the ones in power, are saying, you know, let's use a scalpel on this instead of a sledgehammer to try to beat everybody into submission.
Yeah, and the government has had a lot of time to sort of come up with and finesse what these rules are. It's been almost a year now.
Yeah.
And I think that taking this sledgehammer approach is frankly lazy policy making.
So what's the Canadian Constitution Foundation doing? Are you going to court in some of these cases?
Yeah, so we have already gone to court on one issue about religious liberty. We're looking at intervening now in another case based out of Kitchener-Waterloo about equality in the disability community and access to gyms.
So it's a good thing that there are some groups out there, and yours is one of them, who are taking the government to court to make sure that we don't get all clamped down and worried and staying behind the curtains and looking out to see whether the cops are coming for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the role that we play is a really important one, especially when the government is not putting these measures through the legislative process. These are all executive orders, so I think the courts should actually have a higher level of scrutiny about these measures since they didn't receive legislative scrutiny.
I hope they agree with you. Christine Van Geyn, thank you very much. A little bit more than 3 minutes. So thank you for watching, and please make sure that you subscribe and tell your friends. We are going to have lots of fabulous shows coming up in the new year.